Hello, I'm Al. Welcome to the Guitar Shack. So today's video is a short one. It's a build video. I'm going to build up a Strat based around this neck. So this neck's quite interesting. It's a 2020 Player Series maple neck, and I acquired this as part of a kind of parts for build work and guitars deal with an awesome gentleman in Edinburgh. So, Kevin, if you're watching, shout out to you. And this neck has previously been refretted. So, it's got jumbo frets, so bigger and deeper than I would normally use. It's also been very slightly scalloped, just a hint of scallop most of the way down. So it's clearly been done for a shredder, and it's set up in that kind of idiom. It's also had glow in the dark dot markers put down the side, which I quite like. And then it's been refinished. And the fretwork it looks really nice actually. They're stainless steel. They've got bullet fret ends, so it's not the kind of fretwork that I've ever done, and it's not a style of neck that I would have normally bought, but it's intriguing me, so I've decided that I'm going to build it up and play it for a while and see whether I like it or not. So that's the starting point. Now, in my magic box of guitar bits, I also had this, which is a matching Player Series body in Arctic White, I think. So this is going to get built up. Obviously, I'm going to do my usual sort of full deep clean polish and so on. The neck, I've fitted some locking tuners to it. Now these are Geiger branded ones. They're copies of the Fender ones, and they're about a third of the price. So I put these on to try them, see whether they're any good, whether it's worth paying the extra for the Fender branded ones. I think Geiger generally not bad quality, most of the stuff they do. So we'll see how we got on with those. And then I didn't have quite everything to build up a Player Series, but I've got a bridge. So again, genuine Player Series, full-sized trem block, bent steel saddles, and a 2-point mounting. So that goes in there. And then the only bit that I didn't have really for this guitar was a set of pickups. Now I've got various Strat pickups, but I wanted an HSS, and because I thought you can't really have a rock machine like this neck would suggest without having a humbucker in the bridge. So eBay came up with this. So this is a Pickguard standard Strat HSS Floyd Rose. So this is off 2020, I believe, Floyd Rose Player Series, and the only difference between the standard one and the Floyd Rose one is this has got a bigger cutout on the pickguard for the bigger bridge. So again, proper Player Series component, but I've got a new pickguard for it, so I've got a standard sized humbucker pickguard to go on there, and I've got a matching backplate to complete it. And then I've got the bits. So I've got the boat neck, or the boat. Got the trem, back plate. So I'm going to clean up the body. I'm going to check out the neck. I'm going to build it up and set it up, and then see how I like it. So first things first, let's look at the neck, since that's what this build is all about. So it's really nicely figured, actually. I like Player Series necks. They're pretty high quality. They look nice. I like the logo on them. I like the figuring on the headstock of this, and generally nicely finished. So it's 2020. I'll check what the serial number says, but what it was originally attached to, or what the original spec was. As you can see, I've got these Geiger locking tuners. So they're pretty much identical to the Fender ones, except they've obviously got different logos on the back. They seem okay. I'd say they don't feel quite as smooth as the standard Fender ones do, but then they're a third of the price. So we'll see how we get on with them, see whether they hold tuning and whether they're easy to use. Because I think they could be a good option for an upgrade if you don't want to, throw the 70 quid that a full Fender set would be on, on a Mexican guitar. So skunk stripe down the back, and we've got the usual markings and barcodes and the date stamp. So what's 16th of November? Or, sorry, 16th of July 2020. So turning to the business end then, this build is really all about these frets. So stainless steel, jumbo sized, and as you can see, they've got bullet ends. So my understanding of these is basically that if you go to jumbo sized frets, which are really tall, then if you bevel them in the traditional sense that I would normally, in a sort of flat plain bevel over the edge and then coming up and then it just gets rounded around the edges of it. What you end up with is the width of the fret itself is reduced in the way because of the height. So as the bevel comes up, obviously the playable surface reduces. So this is a way of still giving you comfortable fret ends, but actually there's not that much bevel on them. They're quite vertical along the sides, but it gives you plenty of playing surface along the top. So that's the frets. The other thing that's been done to this, you can just see, is there's a very slight scalloping. You can see it on some more than others, and that it's slightly more pronounced down to the or up at the high ends, as you would expect. It's not a pronounced scalloping; it's just very slight, but it goes with the bigger frets to give you that sort of shreddy guitar feel. Okay, so having done the rocker of truth, I'll show you the Sharpie of shame. So we've got a rock here, along here, both ends of this one, bit in the middle of this one, here, uh, most of that one, this end of that one, both ends of that one, a little bit there, and a little bit in the middle there. So this is not a level set of frets. That was a little bit of a surprise, I would say. This neck's had a lot of work done to it. New frets, work on the board itself, a lot of work's gone into the fret ends. So I don't think this is the case that it wasn't properly leveled, crowned, and polished after it was installed. I think what's happened is that over time, some of the frets have lifted slightly, which happens. And I think with a refret, you're putting frets into a slot which has already had the factory tangs pulled out of it. Sometimes they don't seat as well as they would do from new. So I'm going to have to go round and wherever they're high, tap them in again. Now, I think they've probably been glued. So the question is, are they glued in place where they are and therefore won't go back down, or can they be properly seated? Assuming that they can, then I'll do a full level crown and polish on it, which will then fix the problems. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, well, that was useful. I've got some movement in the frets from tapping them in. So what I'm going to do now is clamp them in place and glue them, the ones that have moved, and then I'll do a level because that'll give us a nice solid base. So that's the first part done, which is to get a solid base by re-gluing those ones which will move and clamping them down. So I've got about 4 or 5 of them which seem to have settled a little bit under the clamp and been glued in place. So from now on it's just a straightforward level crown and polish job. So that's the fretwork all done. Time to get on with the body. So that's the neck done. So I'll put that to one side and I'm going to crack on with the body now. So this is, we got a year stamp on it. I mean, Player Series came out in what, 2016, so it's going to be at least that or newer. And it's in pretty good shape. There's no sort of play scratches on it. There's a few little dents and a few little scuffs on the bottom. Not really dents, just sort of scuffs in the surface, I think, which I think will polish out. So what I'm going to do with this is get the hardware off it and then get it downstairs, machine polish it, and then I'll get it back upstairs and wax it, and then we'll start building. So that's the bodywork done. Came up really nicely. All the little surface marks and so on just came off perfectly. So, as always with a Fender, the only flaw is the usual Fender crack in the just in the finish at the neck pocket, like they all have, and on the back there is just a little hairline crack here in the finish, which obviously isn't down to the wood, but that's just there. And then there's a couple of scuffs just around the bottom, which is what you would expect. So as Fender bodies go, this is pretty close to immaculate, I would say. So that's the guts of the guitar done, and it's just all the little bits now. So I'm going to strip and clean the bridge. I'm going to switch over the electronics to the new Pickguard and clean out the electronics, make sure that they're all working, and then I will start reassembly. So we're on the home straight now with the Pickguard. So just a quick look inside. So this is Pickguard Standard Strat HSS Floyd Rose or FR. So this came with the Alnico 5, I think it's Alnico 5 on Player Series for the neck and middle pickups, and then obviously we've got the humbucker for the bridge, CTS pots, and then we've got a push-pull to split the coils and the humbucker on the bottom tone control. I believe it's wired to auto split so that position 2 gives the inner coil and the middle. And then we've got a metal switch. So all good quality electronics. I'm just going to give it a quick blast of contact cleaner in the pots. I know that there was no crackles or anything. I have had this wired up and it was playing fine, but never hurts to just give it a wee blast anyway. And then give everything a just give all the controls a bit of a wiggle, just work the contact cleaner in there. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to strip all this off of this guard and install it on the new one. So you don't really need to see me doing that. So here is the moment of birth of this guitar. So body's all done, all working. You've seen all the things I've done to it. The neck's reassembled. So let's get our together. Now, one of the things that I checked off camera was I looked at the serial number for this neck, and originally this neck was also on an HSS Player Series. It was three-tone sunburst. So really, it's all going back together as it should. The only thing that's changed is the colour of the body. So it's basically all correct parts, which doesn't necessarily matter to some people. It matters more to other people. I sort of go on the basis that, as I've said before, Fender, they will, pick a body and a neck out of a rack of parts, and those will then go together. And the body and the neck or the neck supposed to be replaceable on the body. So, we could argue till the cows come home, but whether this is a parts caster or whether this is a player series. But my view is it's all player series, it's all the correct parts. The fact that I put it together as opposed to somebody in a Fender factory makes absolutely no difference as far as I'm concerned. So, this is a completely legitimate Fender Player Series Stratocaster. Having said that, I make no bones about how this guitar came together, where the parts came from, because I always think it's important that, full disclosure, as you can see from the videos that I do. But given that a Fender guitar, doesn't have any serial number or any identity in the body, only in the neck, this moment when the neck gets attached to the body, that is when this guitar officially becomes that serial number guitar in Fender's eyes. So, as you could say, that's the moment of birth. And there we have it. A very lovely Arctic White, Polar White, still not sure, Player HSS. So I'm going to get this strung up and set up, and then which you've seen me do a million times, so I'm not going to bother filming that this time because I've got a few to do, and then I'll do some sound demos. So here's the end result. So I like the way it's come out. I think the white body looks nice with the maple neck. I think the black guard gives it a bit of contrast, so it's quite a sharp looking guitar. These tuners are pretty decent. They tune up well. I think they're good value for money, and I'm surprised at how much I quite like the jumbo frets. I've been playing this for a couple of hours, and once you get used to having a hand position which is more bent over than I typically do, more like that, then you don't even notice the sides. And I think that's kind of the point, isn't it? If you are a highly technical player, which I'm not at all, and playing up and down all over the place here, your hand position is different. And this neck is very well suited for that. So I'll play a few sounds and stop whittering on. So that's what it sounds like. Okay, that's me done. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. If you did, then as always, please like and subscribe. This is one of several HSS Strats that I've got in at the moment. So I think I might do one of these comparison videos to compare them all. So I've got this one, which is a Player Series. I've got a Candy Apple Red one, which have just come in, which is 2010 Mexican ceramics. I've got a Squire Classic Vibe with the HSS, and I've also got an American Performer, which has got Tone Riders in it. So I might do a kind of one of those sort of comparison videos. So we'll see. Might be a bit beyond my technical capabilities to pull it off, but we'll give it a go. Anyway, thanks for watching, putting up with my wittering, and I'll see you back in the shack soon. So this guitar's now up for sale on my Reverb shop. If you just go to reverb.com and search for Alan's Guitar Shack. Alternatively, my website is alansguitarshack.com. Hope to see you there. Thanks a lot.